One of the first questions I had today from a bunch of viewers online were, how are we doing with the drought? And the drought monitor comes out tomorrow. The data only runs Tuesday to Tuesday, so it would only include parts of Monday and Tuesday's rain. So, but we know, both of us, that it wasn't enough, but it probably put a little dent in it. And so one of my favorite graphics, and I don't know if Jeb can bring up my laptop real quickly, I went and looked, so I pulled up the climate conditions. We call this the amount of precipitation needed to end the drought. And for the climate zones, most of them are in anywhere from 4 to 7 inches of rain. You guys are kind of on that 4-inch area, and that's over a month. So depending on how much rain you had, there wasn't enough to eliminate the drought, but probably take a third or a half out, I would think, for some of these areas. So I'll be curious to see what the drought monitor does tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised to see some improvement, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see it not change that much.
Well, and you mentioned too, so like yesterday's rainfall, today's rainfall, not included completely. So it will be a partial snapshot. We'll get some more decent rain overnight tonight, but no one's going to eliminate the drought here, but it kind of stops the bleeding at least a little bit.
Yes.
And I think that, any of the farmers that we might have talked to or anybody concerned about these things, I think they'll appreciate just the pattern change and the overall, or we talked about a lot of fire danger too. We haven't talked about that once this week with good reason, because that's something that's going to be a concern when you get into those drier stretches. And then farther down the line, it looks like we'll have a shot maybe at some more rain next Monday or Tuesday, one of those days. And so just getting some regularity to it would be really helpful.
Yeah, I know everybody who overseeded and aerated their lawns is pretty happy now, because this was like the perfect kind of rain to help that out. I've noticed a lot of the lawns beginning to green up as well. And that's one thing, the cool temperatures. If you have a cool season variety of grass like fescue, this is like great grass growing weather. It really does do pretty well in this setup. So the good news, Tim, on this too, as I mentioned, the light at the end of the tunnel, I mean, tomorrow we actually could see the sun return. And for Halloween, we're looking at sunny skies as well. So this is, in some ways, I know it's been a miserable 3 days, but this has been the perfect rain falling in the beginning, middle of the week, and then by a holiday and the weekend, it looks like everybody sees some rapid improvement.
Yeah, really. I mean, it really should improve quite a bit. One of the things I think will be interesting to see tomorrow, and then a little bit for Halloween as well. Consider there's going to be some breeziness to this.
Yes.
Kind of classic fall weather setup. When you get the clearing out, you're going to have this upper level low still overhead of us, and when that wind comes down the mountain, we could still see some gusts around 25, maybe 30 miles per hour at times. That would go for tomorrow, and probably into Halloween a little bit too. So plan on it being dry, but we could get blown around a little bit. The decorations could be doing a dance a little bit as well, I would guess, into Friday. But there'll be a chill to the air, so it'll be festive. I don't know about trick-or-treating, what your costumes look like, but you might want to bundle or have a top layer at least, depending on how hardy you are.
I know one thing I've noticed, and I mentioned this in our local forecast, there's a lot of leaves coming down already. It feels like the leaves in the Piedmont have changed really dramatically. And I don't know if they're changing or they're just dropping, but there's been a lot more leaves showing up, at least on the roads and parking lots and in my yard. It seems like that leaf drop has happened pretty quickly this week, Tim.
I think so too, and we've been talking so much about rain. I haven't really thought about the fall color all that much, but I actually think this might be the best weekend up in our area, in the foothills, the Piedmont. If you still want to go and check out some sites, this is the latest estimation from Explore Fall, but usually these things are always a couple days delayed just because of observations. But if you were trying to go to Hanging Rock, for example, Pilot Mountain, Stone Mountain, don't delay. I mean, get out there when you can. Probably Saturday and Sunday would be beautiful, or even just checking out places around, the Linville Gorge, Hickory, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, any of the local spots. Good timing this weekend to have some sunshine. Just get out there, because it's not going to last that much longer, especially when we have these colder mornings. And we've been cold pretty much all week, so I think that's really accelerating the change. And with the breeze that's happening and coming our way the next 2 days, that should take even more leaves off as well.
Yeah, I plan to get the drone up this weekend because I've seen some good color just driving into Charlotte the last couple days, and I'm going to try to get some visuals because, like you said, I think the wind is going to be our biggest detriment because it's probably going to start taking these leaves off pretty quickly, and it will be a breezy couple of days. And we've seen some pretty gusty winds all week as well with the wedge. Now they shift around to the west northwest. So yeah, I think that's a good call. The next couple of weekends, this weekend and next weekend, might be peak color for the northwest Piedmont, the foothills, and then the next part, I think the next great color location is going to be Uwharrie and going towards central North Carolina, Morrow Mountain, those areas. They tend to be later, and that's why it's so great around here. You still got areas you can go to as we go into November. But yeah, typically once you get to about Thanksgiving, everything's done. It's like there's not much left. So November's November's the Piedmont season. So